So everyone can open your browser, and then you can actually, under the search, you can type Thunkable. So once you actually get your search result, this is Thunkable. Once you get the search results, then you can click on the Thunkable page. So this is the Thunkable page. So you can see here, this is the build custom mobile apps, no coding required. Right, this is simple. And of course, don't worry about the pricing. We are not going to start anything on enterprise or things like that. So you're going to use we're going to use the free version. So here you see there is login and sign up. So whenever you click on sign up or login, it'll ask you to log in using your Google email or your Apple ID or things like that. So go to that page. So you see you have sign in with Google, sign in with Apple, sign in with email. So you can choose anyone. So all this sign in and whatever project that you do is saved everything on the cloud. So it's not saved in this local PC. So meaning to say that whatever if you're done, if you go back, then you have your own laptops at home or in your hostel. You log in, you'll still get back where you left it off. Is that okay? So I'm going to sign in with Google. And then you'll have this landing page. Of course, you won't be seeing like how you won't be having the same layout like what you're seeing on my page. I have a lot of projects here, but you'll be seeing create a new app. So are you all able to see that? Okay, so once you are here in Thunkable, you can see this is the free version. So there's an option to upgrade accounts, but we are not going to do that. For the free version, you can have up to 10 projects. So you will need to click on the create new app. So this is the option that you will be having. So click on create new app. Okay, hold on. I've reached my project limit, so I have to delete some project. Hold on. So let's see. So I'm going to delete something. Now am I able to, yeah. So now okay. The maximum is 10. So when you come to this create new project, there is an option you can actually create the project name. So here, what we can actually type, we're going to create an app that I can actually talk. So what we can actually name it, what you would like to name your talking app? Talking app, okay. Talking app. So whatever names that you want to give, feel free. All okay? Can everyone see this size? Is okay? Talking app, whatever name that you want to give, you give. Nothing's going to blow up. If you do anything wrong, nothing's going to blow up. So don't worry. So under the category, you need to select one category. So you can put under education or entertainment, whatever it is. So I'm going to put under entertainment. So you're currently in public, which means whatever project that you create, anyone who actually comes into Thunkable, they are able to view your project. It's free. Free version means your project is not private, it's public. So whatever you do, it will be accessible by others. Now there is an option, use the drag and drop builder. Make sure this is not checked. Not checked. Okay, make sure this is not checked. Don't go and check this. So then you can click on create. Everyone on the same page? So click create. So then it will actually open up. This is your workspace. This is your workspace. So this is the entire workspace. So let us go through your workspace. What are the elements that you actually have on your workspace? So I'll just make it a bit smaller on my screen so that you will be able to see the overall overview. So this entire thing is your workspace. This is where you're actually going to work on your app development. On the top left corner. Now this is where you can see talking app. So this is, you can see your app's name here, and you can see all the components that you have added. You will be able to see in the components tree. So this is your components tree. You will be able to see all the components that you have actually added under Talking App. So you can see this is your settings, this is the app settings, which is here, things like that. So this is the app setting, and under this Talking App project, there is one component which is screen one. Do you see this one? This is screen one, which is by default your screen. So it looks like not look like a phone, it is a phone image, and it shows how it appears on your screen. And then there is, so whatever components that you have added, you'll be able to see under the Talking App. All the add. So currently there's only one component, which is screen one, which is here, you can see. So there are also invisible components, and there are also some files and some data sources. So these are some of the things that we can actually use at a point of time. So meaning to say, this point you'll be able to see all your components that you have added. Now below that there is an add component. So this is actually where you select all your components, right? So this is your components palette. So if you are looking for user interface, that means something where user can interface with your app. For example, like text input, buttons, and things like that. Those falls under the category of user interface. So you can see under user interface, there's button, there's label, there is text input, web viewer, switch, so many things are there. Then you have layout, how the layout is. Then you have voice option, you have image, you have data, you have location, sensors, social, authentication, monetization. So all these various options that you have to add the components. On the right hand side is where you are able to edit the properties of any components that you add. So currently, whatever component that you select, which is currently screen one is selected, so it shows the property of screen one. So you have the simple settings, and you also have the advanced settings. So for example, under simple settings, if you change the background color, you see it changes. You can actually put whatever color that you want. Everyone's okay? Everyone able to get something? So you can actually change color, but I don't want any color. So you can also include a background picture. So how do we actually add a background picture? So let's go to Google search. So maybe I can search for nice 3D and for wallpaper. So let's go to image. So let's see what I can actually do. Maybe I just change handphone wallpaper. So there's a lot of options here, right? Choose anyone that you like. Trying to look if there's anything I like. Anyway, I shouldn't be so choosy, right? Just for the sake of example. So I'm just going to choose this one. Okay, so have you all selected your wallpaper? So you bring your cursor on top of the wallpaper, then you right click. So there is this option of copy link address. There's a save link as a copy link address. Oh, sorry, not copy link address. Below that, there's a copy image address. No, not one, not the link. Copy image address. So click on copy image address. Then go back to Thunkable. Do you see under the background picture? Click on here. It says that there's two options. You can actually upload the file or you can type in the URL. So upload the files means you have to save the image on the local PC and things like that. So not really my cup of tea. So I would like to type in the URL. So just now you copied the image, right? Image address. So paste it here. So can you see it actually appears as a background? Everyone's able to do? Now can you go to your phone and open Thunkable Live? So I'll pause the recording. So it should appear on your phone in the full size image. It's not how it looks like here, right? So it's a bit different. So you can use the Thunkable Live app. So let's go to the components now. And if you see under the components, there is this user interface, but go to layout. If you see layout, there is this top tab navigator. And for each one of these components, let me just enlarge this. For each one of these components, there is a question mark there, right? So if you click on the question mark, it actually gives you short description on what is it about. So let's say if I click on top tab navigator, this one, what you have to do, you have to click and drag and drop to your screen. So you drag and drop to your screen. So when you drag and drop to your screen, you see that there's another component that adds up, top tab navigator, and under the top tab navigator, there is home, about, contact, and setting. And of course, below it, there is screen one also, right? So screen one, I think now you can delete screen one. You can actually put back the image in one of the screens. So I deleted screen one. So when you deleted screen one, what do you see on your screen? You're able to see the top tab navigator, right? Home, about, contact, and setting. Now another way is you can click on the preview. There's a preview button here on top. So if you click on preview, it actually will show how it looks like. So under the preview mode, you can also click. It is actually interactive. You can click as well. Now on your phone, if you swipe, do you see the tab on top actually changes? But of course, in each page, there's nothing, right? It's empty. The top tab navigator. Everyone's okay? So if you want to edit back, then you just click on edit. You need to go to edit mode back. So out of these 4 tabs, I think we just going to need 2. So let's say the contact and also settings we can delete. Delete this. Settings also delete. So currently how many tabs you have? You only have 2 tabs. Now under the home tab, you can actually include back the background picture that you want. So I've included back the background picture under the home tab. Is everyone able to follow? Now what we actually want to do now is we want to change the name of the home and also about. So currently, do you see the home is actually selected? Under the talking app, the home screen is selected. So which means here on the right hand side, the property is for the home page. So under that, do you see there is a pencil icon? So if you click on that, you can actually rename. So this one can be text to speech. I'm going to name it as text to speech. Or maybe it's too long. Text to speech. So you see it changes. So on your phone also it changes. Okay, name it as text to speech or text to voice. Is that okay? Now the text to voice or text to voice doesn't sound so nice. Maybe I change back to text to speech. Text to speech. I think it would be much more better. Text to speech. So text to speech, let's say we want to add on some icon. Currently, do you see a background picture? There is some URL link is already there. So let's say want to do text to speech icon. So maybe I think we like to choose this one, text to speech icon. So you can choose whatever that you want. So again, the same thing. You're going to copy the image address and go back here, delete this one, put a new one. Oh, sorry. What did I do? No, sorry. Not this one, not this one. My bad. This is the background image. Sorry, that's a mistake. I need to get back my nice image. Yeah, sorry. That was the background image for that. Yeah. So what I meant to change is the tab navigation icon, which is at the bottom. You scroll down, there's a tab navigation icon. That's what you want to actually change. So I think I chose this one, right? So this one, save the image address, go back here, change this one, put it back here. So do you see it changes? So if you preview, you can see now text to speech has this icon. Are you able to see? It changes the icon. Okay, anyone stuck up to this point? Okay, I'm going to continue recording. So now, since everyone is on the same page now, we have actually added the text to speech. We have changed the icon, right? We have actually changed the icon. And we have added the wallpaper. We have also changed the navigation tab icon. So next thing is what we want to do is, let us actually include one component known as label. So if you go under the components, add component under user interface, there is the second one known as label. If you click on the question mark, it says that the label component allows you to display text in your app. So meaning to say that this one will just display, it's a label. So you can drag and drop to the screen. So you see by default it actually comes in center. So currently whenever you drag and drop a particular component, that component will be highlighted. That component will be highlighted. And you can see that on the right hand side, the name is given label 1. So this label 1 is not so important, so we don't have to rename it. But for other components, we have to make sure that we rename it accordingly. Oh, never mind, we can actually rename this also. We can actually put this as text to speech label, LBL. So here if you notice, LBL stands for label. I'm just using acronyms, text to speech label. So there is an option for you to write label. So here what you can actually write, text to speech. Now currently it's not so visible on my screen because it's black in color. So I'm going to change the color of the font. Let's see what color. There. If I change the color, you're able to see. Text to speech. Red is not so visible. White. Yeah, white looks easy. Simple. You can change the font size, whatever size that you want it to be. Text to speech. You can also change the font style. You want it to be italic or normal. So font weight, you can actually make it bold. So those are the things that you can actually play around with. Now I would like to bring your attention to one of the settings which is known as the text align. Of course, text align means you can see there's auto, there's left, there's right, there's center and justify. We'll leave that aside for now. But look at this height and also the width. So the height and the width is, do you see that the red dotted box? That is actually showing the height and the width of that component. So when you're changing the height and the width means you're changing the container, the component's height and width. So here you see, if you click on this height, there is pick one, fit contents or fill container. So if you click on pick one, so just now I got three, right? Pick one, relative size, absolute size. If you click on pick one, then you have to select whether do you want to fit content or you want to fill the container. Fit content means this label container, what is the content of this container? The wording, right? Text to speech. So if you fit contents means the size will fit the content. Which is if you select this one, it fits the content. If you say fill container, so you see height, what it means, it fills the entire space. This is what fill container means. Of course, if you do fill container like this, then you can actually select the, for example, you can put it at this, not center. Justify. So the justify is actually for the width. So in this case, we don't want to fill container. We want to fit the content. So it comes like this. Let's say what happens if you put relative size. Relative size means you can set whatever percentage. 50% means 50% of the entire container, entire screen. So this is relative size and there is absolute size. So whatever size that you set, it will be fixed. So most of the time we will use the pick one and fit container. We'll say fit content. So the same thing applies with the width also. So let's say if you fill container, do you see now it fills the entire container? And here you can actually use the text align. You can use it, make center, left, or right, or you can justify. So when you change the fill container, then you're able to do that. But for this one, I'm just going to change back to fit content. Everyone's okay? Any question on the height and the width? Fill container means it fills the entire screen. Fit contents means it fits. The container becomes the size. It just nicely fits the content. So there's another thing known as margin and padding. So this margin and padding. So let's say, for example, if I put the top margin as 50 So what this top margin is actually doing, it is, margin is from outside of this box to the top. Outside, it's outside of the box. What's the margin that you want to set with the other components? So if you increase the top margin, you can see that, sorry, 600. You can see that you're pushing your component lower and lower and lower. Let's see if you want to add the left margin. If I put 30. So margin is what? From here to this side screen. You're adding the margin. How much margin you want it to actually move. So that is margin. So I'm just going to reset this back. And what is padding? Now padding, the margin is outside. Padding is inside. Inside means, what is the red color dotted line is actually the container. And the text to speech is the content, right? So padding means you are inserting some space between the container and also the content. So let's say, look at this, the text to speech. If I add the top padding by 10, do you see that it added some padding inside? With bottom padding I add 10. You see that it creates a space, left and right. So this padding is inside, is between the container and the content. Margin is outside. Is that okay? Now let us go back to, any question up to this point? Let's go back to the user interface palette and we're going to add a button now. So far whatever changes that you made, are you able to see on your Thunkable Live? Right, you're able to see text to speech. So this is how mine looks like. You can actually see that. Of course you can swipe. The second page is empty. You didn't put anything yet, so only the first page, so you're swiping. So this is your first app which you can swipe. Now let us try to include a button. So under the user interface, there's a button, right? Everyone here on the same page? Confirm? Okay, yeah. So we're gonna click on the button. So what is the button? So if you click on the question mark, this allows you to perform a particular action. So far what you have added on your screen is the navigator layout, which allows you to scroll between, navigate between pages. But is there anything else that can actually you click and then do something? No, right? Currently we have added background image, we have added label, which is not, unable to do anything. But now we're going to add a button. So drag and drop the button to the screen. So when you drag and drop to the button, for me, the button came on top of the label. How about for you? Same. So I want the button to be below. So what we can do you see on your components tree here on the left hand side? The arrangement follows. So you can see buttons here. So I click on, currently button 1 is highlighted, right? So I click on this and I drag it below text to speech label. So the component tree is also how you want to arrange. So just now I click and drag it below. So the button automatically comes below. Is that okay? Everyone's able to do that? If any issues, raise your hand immediately, yeah? How does it look on your phone? Is it okay? Is it too close? If it's too close between these two, what are things that you can do now? Should you add margin or padding? Oi. Margin. If you add padding, what will happen? Within the button will get bigger and bigger. Now I am asking between the text to speech and the button is, if it's close, if you want some gap, you're supposed to add margin. Remember I told margin is outside of the box. So if you click on that, currently what is selected? Button. So if you click on the top margin, so do you see now it adds a margin? So it's a better gap, right? feel free to change. Okay, now we want to rename this. Now this button renaming is important. By default, it will just, as you keep on adding the components, yes. Which one? Oh, that you have to include under the margin, the top margin. So when you add the top margin, it will have the space. Is that okay? Everyone able to add the margin? Everyone's okay? So now here, whenever you adding components, it'll keep on adding button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4 like that. But at later point of time, when we want to assign some functionality to the button, it's very important that we know what is the naming convention. So therefore, whenever you want to rename a button, don't rename it as ayam, ite, and things like that. Make sure you are renaming it based on the function. Otherwise, later when you want to do programming, you get stuck. Why did I name this as this? Why did I name as like this? So always make sure that you rename it properly. So this one, we can actually rename it as text to speech BTN button, text to speech button. So under the text to speech button, there's text. So I'm going to change the text to speak now. So you can feel free to change the background color, whatever color that you want. So you can make it more interesting or things like that. So now on your screen, if you press the speak now, is anything happening? No. Things happening, right? Because we've not included any function to it. So under the button, you can see there's option font, make it bold, italic, raised. So when you click on raised, how it actually look like? Not much of a difference. Not much difference. But it's supposed to give an effect of why not much difference? Because of the background picture. It doesn't show like it's raised. When it's raised, like has like a shadow underneath it. So because the background image is already there, so you're unable to see the raised kind of image. So these are the things that you can change. So you can actually play around to make your text to speech button interesting. But now as you click on it, nothing happens because we have not added any functionality to it, right? Now, in order for us to make it work, we are actually working on the text to speech, right? So in order for us to make it work, we need to add one more important component, which is related to the voice. So let's go back to the components palette. Everyone okay? Can we go to the components palette? So under the components palette, if you can scroll down, you can see under voice tab, there is text to speech component. Now, if you click on the question mark, you can see the text to speech simply takes in text and reads it out loud. So you can drag and drop to the screen. But now if you notice one thing, when you drag and drop to the screen, it doesn't appear on the screen, it appears below, and automatically on the components tree, it becomes under the invisible components. Why does it become under the invisible component is because this is a function at the back. It is not a user layout. It's not a graphic user interface, right? It's a background component that's running. So that's why it falls under the invisible component. You are unable to see it on your screen, right? So now we have actually added the text to speech, and this component name is text to speech 1. So of course, if you see default language is English, you can actually choose so many other languages and things like that. Now, even though if now when you click, nothing is not speaking anything because we have not assigned any functions to it. So we are going to do that now. Is everyone with me? So if you notice on your top left corner, we are currently on the design tab. There are two tabs. There's design tab and blocks, right? Design tab is where we do all the designing work. So now we're going to click on the blocks. So when you click on the block, you can see that it's empty. There's no function. At the same time, you see that this screen is highlighted, which means you are now adding functionality for this page, this screen. Is everyone able to follow? Now under the blocks, there are already existing functions like control, logic, math, text, list, color, device, objects, variables, and functions. So all these things are already readily available tools, blocks. And you see below here, these are all the components that you have added. So currently, we want to add functionality to which component? Text to speech. Which component that will initiate the text to speech? Yes, the button. So when you click on text to speech button, you can see all those blocks that are affiliated with text to speech button. So we want to look at the first one because when the button is pressed, we want it to do certain functions, right? So we're going to select the first one. When text to speech button is clicked, then do something. Everyone okay? So just click on this and drop it. Everyone okay? Now what are you supposed to do? The doing is when you click the button, you want it to speak something, right? So the speak something is affiliated to which component? Text to speech. So click on text to speech component. So there is this call text to speech to speak, the first block, this one. So take this and drop it here. So you should hear the click sound. Everyone hear the click sound? Okay. So how would this block, how do you actually interpret this block? Is when the text to speech button, so this is the important thing. Everyone pay attention, this is the important thing. Yeah, it'll talk when you press the button. So when you press the text to speech is clicked, then what it'll do? It will call the text to speech to speak. Speak what? Speak this text. What's the text? Hello. So if you want to change, change. So change. Then after you change, we go back to your app.
Hello students.
So I put hello students, so you'll be able to hear.
Hello students.
So whatever you put, you can put. So I can change.
Are you all enjoying your first app?
So I'll pause the recording for a while just to see how much fun you all having. Let's go back to the design. So the limitation, when I'm recording now back, the limitation is that your app will only constantly speak whatever that you have written here at the background, the programming part. But you as the user, you are unable to determine what you want it to speak. So it's not flexible, it's not dynamic. So let's go back to the design. So what we can actually include is under the user interface, there is a text input component. So if you click on the question mark, The text input allows the person using your app to type in anything that they want. So let's do this. Is it okay? So let's drag and drop. Now it's coming on top. The text input is coming on top. I mean, it depends on how you want to design your layout. I prefer it to be between text to speech and also speak now button. So if I want to do that, you see under the component tree, I click and drag so that it comes in between. So now it is actually in between, right? So you can see on your screen, it comes in between, right? It doesn't look as ugly as what you see here. It looks nicer here, right? So now when you actually have that text input, so again, the naming convention is important. So this is the text input for speech. Or this one can put text input box lah. Easier. Text input box. So under the text input box, you can see that there is a hint. So the hint means currently it's mentioned type here. So we can change the hint, type what you want me to speak, for example. But you know, the background that I've chosen is quite a colorful background, and the hint is always gray in color. So I can't really see the hint color. So let's see if we scroll down, there's a hint. Oh, don't have. So let's see under advanced. Okay, found it. Are you all facing the same thing like mine? Mine is too colorful. The hint I've already put, but it's gray in color, so I can't really see in my background. So under the text input box, if you go to advanced, if you scroll down, you keep scrolling down, there is this hint text color. So you can actually change this. So what color can I put? White? Pink? Okay, now it's better. I can see. It's brighter color. I mean, depends on you what background color that you have chosen. So this hint is like, you know, it gives you a hint what you're supposed to type at that space. But at the same time, do you notice that the text input seems to be very, very small? So what we can actually do. So let's go back to the simple. So maybe here, for the height and the width, you see the width is already a relative size of 80%, right? So the height, we're going to choose relative size as well. So let's see what happens if I put 20%. Okay, not bad. Looks like a bigger space, right? So I think I'll settle with 20%. But it depends on how many percent you all want to put. Mine looks something like this. So for me, I think okay. Everyone's okay? Everyone able to add? Now, everyone okay? Can we move on? So now we have added this text to speech part here. Anything else I want you to do? Okay. So now let's change. Let's go back to the blocks. Go back to the block. Now you can see here that where is the text input box, that is this one, right? So if you click on that, there is, do you see this one? Text input box text. So what is this telling is text input box is the name of the component, and what you are taking? The text, whatever text that you have written. So you're going to take this and replace it with the text. So now when you look at this text to speech button, when it's clicked, it will call the function of text to speech to speak a text from the text from the text input box's text. So that's what it's supposed to do. So now if you can click on that, then you can type whatever that you want.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, whatever I type, that's coming. So if you don't like whatever that,
Did you all manage to get it?
so based on whatever I'm typing. So I'll stop the recording just to check on all of you. So just going to add one more thing just to beautify your app only.
Did you all manage to get it?
Okay. So now if you go under the add components, you scroll down. Let's see if it's still there. Under the image, under image, there is one thing known as animation. Animation. So if you click on the question mark, so this animation component is powered by Lottie, makes adding animation as easy as adding images. Okay, so we're going to drag and drop this animation on top. So drag and drop on top. So currently you see animation, it requires a file source. So this is from Lottie. Of course the height you can actually change later. This size, this is what, too small. So this is the animation. So you need to go to another new tab and you type in Lottie files. I think it's known as Lottie files. Yeah, this one, the Lottie files. So go to Lottie files. So this one also you have to log in using your Google account. So I'm just going to continue as a Gmail. So there's a lot of free images that you actually have as well, right? So let's say I'm going to search for animation. This animation is to swipe. Let's say swipe left, swipe right, swipe right. Actually, if I want to go to the other one, suppose I swipe left, swipe left. So here are all the one that you see, the pro version, I think that you had actually paid. So let's see this one, swipe left. I'm just going to see this one. For example, this one. So if you click on this, you'll open up a file. So you don't have to download. So if you scroll down, where is it? So they have let me see. Oh, no, not this one. The URL is supposed to be there. Okay, let me check the others. It's supposed to be a URL. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm trying to see which one is the. Itulah tengah cari tu URL tu. Last time they used to have the URL here. Made some changes. Try to see. Paste the URL, import settings icon. Okay, see settings icon. Animation details. Nope. Okay, just hold on. So I found it, how they actually do that. Okay, so let's say you're going to select this one, swipe left, for example. So you have to save to workspace to generate the URL. So click on save to workspace. So once it's saved to the workspace, you'll open up another page. And now we can see on the asset link, right? On the this asset link. So you copy that and you go and include the URL here. So you're able to see on your screen. So mine is coming to the side. By right, this swipe left supposed to be to the side of the screen, but it's starting somewhere in between. So that is because of the width of it. So let's say if I choose on fill container, fill. Now we have to choose the relative size. So when you include it, you can see some animation now is actually running on the screen. So then you can actually use that to swipe left. There's no advanced option. So that's, you want to keep it looping, so just make sure that you enable the loop. So let's see preview. So something like this, you can see some animation is actually ongoing on your screen. Of course, you will notice that because you added this one, some of the things actually got down right. So later you can actually play around with the margins of text to speech to change. Okay, so I'll just stop the recording here.